Hello and welcome back to your South King County real estate update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and I'm back to deliver your local real estate news, what's relevant to you in South King County. Go ahead and jump into these slides because there's a lot to get through today. Today is June 10th, 2022, and I have the summer buyer and seller guides now available. If you would like one, please let me know. Just shoot me a message, DM, email, phone, whatever. I will go ahead and send these over to you. What happened this week? So this past weekend, I went and showed a home kind of on the lower price end of things. It was in the $300,000 range. It was a manufactured home on its own land, which I love this property type because it is much more affordable than a regular stick-built home, but you don't have the lot rents like you do for a lot of the manufactured homes. So I really do appreciate this property type being available. However, they got 20 offers on this manufactured home out in Maple Valley. And I'm hearing left and right that the market's slowing down, but it is very area specific, very property specific. Those homes that are appropriately priced are still attracting a ton of traffic, a ton of offers. You should have seen how many business cards were in this house, because when real estate agents tour a home, they leave their business card. And there was business cards all over the kitchen counter. So many. So I know a lot of people had been to this place, and a lot of people put in offers, and only one person came out the winner. One offer took it all. So unfortunately, we are still looking for that buyer, but I feel like the right place is coming soon. So I'll jump back into these slides. So this came out on the 6th. Seattle's red hot home market is cooling. Here are 3 signs. See what's happening near you. We have all heard the last couple of years about all the bidding wars, the all cash offers, record breaking price increases, record low interest rates up until this year, just crazy stuff happening in the real estate market that is far from normal. So here's 3 takeaways from this article. Homes aren't flying off the market as quickly. The homes are staying on the market just a little bit longer. Most homes were staying on like the weekend at most, heading into the beginning of this year. In King County, there were 73% more homes listed at the end of May than at the same time last year. So that is a lot more inventory. Last year, we had nothing to choose from, which is why everything was going so quickly. But we have 73% more homes on the market now than we did this time last year. Home price activity, we're up in all regions. You can see King went from 870 to 998, 888. So from 870 to 999, very close to $1 million for the median home sale price in King County here. Fewer buyers are taking the plunge. The number of pending sales has decreased. 16% fewer in King County condos went pending in May. We'll get to the graph here in a moment that breaks down all of this. But some buyers are really struggling to break into the homeowner market right now because of the rising interest rates. That makes your monthly payment higher. You're approved for less money. And some people are just holding off in general because of uncertainty. Prices are leveling off. As I said before, we are very close to $1 million on the median home price in King County. From the beginning of the year, we are up 29% in King County. Those price increases are not sustainable. We all know that. So we can't expect that to continue year after year. And home shoppers may have a little bit of an opportunity here, actually, because even though interest rates are higher, there are fewer people out there bidding on the homes. There's more homes to bid on. So the buyer demand is spread out among more homes. Before, your home was going to get bid up to a higher price. Now it won't get bid up quite as high. The prices are kind of stabilizing, but your interest rate might be more, but your monthly payment, might work out to kind of the same, depending on how much higher it would have gone. So here's the King County breakouts for homes and condos in King County. For closed sales in Southwest King County and Southeast King County, we're down 3.6% on the number of closed sales, but median prices were up 16.7 and 17.7%. For condos, Southwest King County closed sales is down almost 15%, but up in Southeast King County 12%. But the price changes are up in both of those areas, 14.6% and 22.7% for condos. And if you're looking at the houses by submarket, most of South King County is kind of in this salmon pink color or the medium dark red. So we're between 20 and 30% price increase throughout our region as a general rule. This one I'm just going to touch on really quick. If you're interested, definitely go check out this article. The links will be in the description. U.S. mortgage lending activity drops at fastest rate in 8 years amid rising interest rates. So you can see this graph here, the light blue, this is refinancing. So from Q1 of 2020, we had those rates drop. People were refinancing their loans like crazy. Purchase definitely went up during the pandemic as well. And home equity lending actually kind of tailed off during the pandemic. But we're seeing the opposite happen now. Refinancing is tumbling and purchase applications are also going down as well, just because, we're at some of the highest rates we've had in 5 years or longer. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster on this, but we're reeling it back in on the loans. And for average days on market, this is obviously the whole nation, but I just thought it was interesting to see that the entire nation is pretty much 15 or like under 30 days on market, with the average being 17 days on market. Here we are under 15 as far as the number of offers that people are receiving on their homes. In Washington here, we are at 2 offers received on sold homes. So that is actually lower in our region than a lot of places around the country. And as far as showing traffic, we have ticked back up here a little bit and seems to be leveling out, following the trend that we would normally expect to see this time of year. And if we look at the last 2 years of showings, we can see during the pandemic, the blue here, showing skyrocketed. Demand for homes just greatly increased. And we are still well above pre-pandemic demand on showing traffic. Keeping on with the showing info for April 2022, I know it's a little lagging, but it takes a while to compile all of this data. There was an unusual slowdown in activity seen. In April, in the Seattle metropolitan area, we had 34% decrease year over year on showing traffic and a 22% month over month change. So from the previous month to April, it was down 22% in showing traffic. So this just shows how those rising interest rates really affect ability to purchase, buyer demand. There was some people that qualified for less that were kind of evaluating their choices and deciding whether they still wanted to purchase or not, because now they couldn't purchase as large of a home as they thought they could. But I just thought this was an interesting thing to show in here. April buyer activity was rather unusual since it typically matches March levels. But this year, April traffic was slower across all markets, pointing to competition softening. It contrasts with last year's dynamic when demand reached a feverish peak in April. Here's a heat map for showing traffic. You can see in the West here, we are down 35.3%. And that brings us to our market stat minute. We had 1,254 new listings in the last 7 days in King County, 861 pending and 800 sold. So we did bounce up again on new listings and on pendings. And if we look at our little local market breakouts across all regions, we had more new listings than pendings in the past 7 days. So this is a change from a couple months ago before it was the opposite. But Auburn is the closest on pendings and new listings. So that might have a little bit more competition as far as demand versus the amount of homes available. And last week, our weekly average mortgage rate was 5.09%. And this week, we have jumped up to 5.23. These higher borrowing rates are slowing purchase applications. People are not applying for loans in the same volume that they were recently. Overall, we will see a deceleration in price growth due to the dropping demand, dropping purchasing power on a overall scale. If we look at today's interest rates, our daily interest rates, we went up. So 5.85 is what Mortgage News Daily is calling out as our daily mortgage rate today. But overall, we are leveling out on the mortgage rates. We've been in a sharp incline on average since the beginning of the year. And now, since April, we're kind of leveling out a little bit. Here's a couple quotes that I just thought were really relevant. Mortgage rates are likely to plateau near current levels. The financial markets have attempted to price in the impact of Fed actions over this cycle. They are likely also pricing in the economic slowdown that will result. So we've talked about this upcoming possible recession. It varies on the specialist's view on whether this is going to happen or not and how bad it's going to be. But we have talked about that, and I'll get to a little bit more about that in a second. This is a mortgage expert. If you are looking to buy a home, I would still recommend you do so even at the higher interest rates, because we have no reason to believe that home prices will stop appreciating. Home values going up is only a problem when you're trying to buy. When you own, it's a gift. Heading into a recession, we talked about this a little bit, so I thought it'd be good to take a moment to define the term. The National Bureau of Economic Research defines it as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy lasting more than a few months. So it needs to be like 2 to 3 months of decreasing GDP for it to be considered an actual recession. And just because there's a recession coming, that doesn't mean house prices are going to go down. In fact, I believe the opposite. In 4 of the 6 last recessions, home prices actually increased. And 1 out of the 2 times it did not, one was very minor. The 2008, the anomaly here, housing caused that crash. So that is why the home prices dropped so much in that instance. But the rest of the time, if it goes down, it's barely, and usually it appreciates during that time period. And if interest rates do continue to go up, you can see at 5%, this $765,000 property, it's right around a $4,000 or $4,100 a month payment. And this is the home that you would be getting for that price. If interest rates go up by a single percent, for the same monthly payment, $50 more monthly payment, you get a $694,000 house, which is looking approximately like this right now. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But over the years, home prices have appreciated. Really, it was only this like 2008, 9, 10, 11 that homes depreciated. And really, yeah, you can only expect home prices to increase over the years. The blue graph in the back is median home price. And you can see how that has shot up over the past since 2011. And just one last reminder, my summer 2022 buyer and seller guides are available. So please request your copy if you would like one. I can send you one or the other or both. Just let me know and I would be happy to send it on your way. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. I would love to answer any questions you might have about what I covered today, about your home's value, about possibly purchasing or moving. Yeah, let's just sit down and have that conversation. I would love to chat with you about real estate. So thank you so much for joining me for your South King County real estate update. I will be back next Friday, 3 p.m. with your local real estate news. See you next week.